Welcome to a special edition of World Business. Now, Italy has been one of Azerbaijan's most significant economic partners within the European Union, particularly when it comes to energy. But the relationship now appears to be broadening into infrastructure, renewables, logistics, and industrial cooperation. Well, as supply chains shift and regional connectivity gains more importance, this partnership may be entering a more diversified phase. To discuss its depth and direction, I'm joined now by Manuela Traldi, President of the Italy-Azerbaijan Chamber of Commerce. Manuela, thank you so much for joining us in the studio. Great to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Italy's long been a partner, hasn't it, of Azerbaijan. How would you characterize this current stage of the economic relationship?
I think that the Italy-Azerbaijan economic relation is now entering a new phase. It is we can feel it. We even discussed it last week in Rome. We organized a conference on this topic. I would say it is more now mature, and it's opening the way for it's turning from let's say a trade cooperation more into a strategic cooperation, long-term strategic cooperation. So we see Italy and Azerbaijan as connected hubs. Italy is like the door to the Mediterranean and Europe, and Azerbaijan, as we know, is the hub for energy and economic hub and logistic hub to Asia. Not only Central Asia, but towards the continent.
And you mentioned energy there. Energy, of course, is an important component, but it's not the only part of the story, is it?
No, it's not. It is the cornerstone of our economic relation, of course, and energy will still play a vital role in our relationship. But we see it growing in importance, but being diversified also at the same time. We have seen a very important investment, for instance, by SOFAZ, by the Sovereign Oil Fund of Azerbaijan, into the solar, to the renewable sector of Italy. Just a few months ago, in July 2025, SOFAZ acquired 49% of the solar portfolio of Envision of Infinity Global in Italy, and that's a very important project of around 480 megawatt, if I am not mistaken, and covering 2 regions of Italy. So we're seeing a diversification also in this type of interest. We also had it is ongoing the acquisition by SOCAR of instead the distribution, that's more traditional sources, distribution, refining, and so the downstream sector of Italy. That's also a very important investment. And also, going back to your first question, that shows, let's say, a mutual bidirectional investments, bidirectional investments between the two countries. In any case, energy is, let's say, the framework or the backbone of our relation, starting with from top, but now going towards diverse investments.
And when you look at some of those key sectors where this collaboration is taking place, Manuela, renewables you've spoken about, other sectors like manufacturing, infrastructure, where are you starting to see the greatest amount of momentum?
Well, there are a few sectors now that are showing a very important, very strong momentum. I would say, as you rightly mentioned, machinery, technologies, but also agribusiness. We believe strongly in agribusiness. We've been following the incredible growth of this sector in Azerbaijan. So we believe that this is an area for cooperation, a very strong area for cooperation.
It's the most fascinating sector as well, I think, even for laymen who are not in the sector. We've got cows swallowing pills that can monitor their appetite. We've got maps that are ancient but are being redigitized. It's an incredible area for innovation, isn't it?
Yes, no, I agree, but even though that's not my background, but I am fascinated by it. So we've been following this growth and this modernization of the sector of Azerbaijan under the guidance of Minister Mazhnoun Mammadov, who is very, very focused and motivated in this growth and is doing very, very well. And we've been organizing the Italian pavilion at Caspian Agro, the very important exhibition that takes place every year in May in Baku, really for the past 10 years. So we've been following and promoting cooperation in this sector that is now highly technological, as you mentioned. It's extremely fascinating, and the results are very tangible, and they're also fast, because the good thing of agriculture is the results they come quickly. So
yes.
In 1 year, 1 season, you immediately get results, increase of production or number of crops. So it is extremely fascinating.
Indeed, and it's not just giant corporations, is it? There are small and medium-sized companies that are getting in on the act too, particularly areas like precision engineering, lots of innovation going on beyond just the giant brand names that we're all familiar with.
Yes, well, if we look at the Italian business environment, the majority of enterprises are small, medium enterprises, and they're very active, and they travel. You can find them everywhere in the world, and I believe that Azerbaijan is the ideal market for them to cooperate, to find their partners, to cooperate, to establish joint ventures in different sectors, including agriculture, but not only. And we've also, as a bilateral business support organization, we have in the past years, we've been also facilitating contacts between the business associations in both countries, in Azerbaijan, in particularly the Confederation of Entrepreneurs, ASK, and also the Agency for the Development of Small Medium Enterprise. So their relationship and cooperation with their Italian counterparts to facilitate and support the growth of benchmarking and exchange of know-how, also as regards specifically the development of small medium enterprises.
And the growth in the partnership's clearly been impressive, but is there more work to do on both sides when it comes to removing some of those structural barriers, regulatory barriers that might exist, do you think?
Well, there's always a margin for improvements. Azerbaijan has been doing an incredible job in the past years. So the growth of the business environment in Azerbaijan and also the fight against bureaucracy, the digitization. I think Azerbaijan has done a lot. Of course, there is more that can be done. Italy, on the other hand, is a very complex country. Of course, there is a lot that is being done to facilitate and to, say, eliminate the red tape, all the complexities of our country. So I think that Azerbaijan is doing well in this sense. Italian side is more complicated, but we are working in order to facilitate these relations between the two business communities as much as possible.
And as we've touched on, one of the things that Azerbaijan is doing is positioning itself as a hub for renewable energy. Is that something that partners and potential partners back in Italy are really buying into?
Well, yes, Azerbaijan's vision and also geographic position, of course, in positioning itself as a hub for logistic, for energy, but not only for and for, I mean, as economic hub is very interesting, because it's very interesting for anyone, for any companies in the Italian market, on the Italian market. We are together with the Embassy of Azerbaijan to Italy, our chamber is promoting and informing the business community about all the possibilities and incentives that are offered currently by Azerbaijan for establishing productions, for also for logistics. So clearly, this also geographic aspect, and also as supported as it is by local legislation, it makes Azerbaijan very, very attractive for foreign companies and Italian companies.
Yeah, it's a very interesting point you mentioned there, because of course there's huge expertise in Italy when it comes to industrial development, technology. I guess that's an opportunity for Azerbaijan too, to tap into that experience and to utilize that to help continue to develop this green transition.
Well, yes, we are working very intensely on this, trying to put together local investors and Italian investors, and who own the technology and the know-how that could be very useful on the Azerbaijani market. The sustainability that you were mentioning, of course, and renewables, it is now it goes across the different sectors, so it's not just the energy sector. Sustainability is very important, and Italy was here in Baku for COP29. It was represented from our Prime Minister to several governmental agencies. So, and also there are some Italian groups that are working actively in partnership with SOCAR, with others. So, for instance, like the Technip, we have that are working closely with them specifically on renewables and on sustainability. But industrial cooperation is one of our goals. We want to promote and support that, because there are many opportunities, I think, for a successful outcome.
And as you've touched on, Azerbaijan as a gateway to Central Asia and as a key point along the middle corridor is gaining more and more international attention. Is that something that when you speak to investors in Italy and Europe that comes up for them too as a benefit?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. We try to point out not only the industrial parks, the industrial the economic zones and AFETs in particular, for those who are willing to produce here, to manufacture here, and then export directly to third countries, other countries. The incentives and the facilitations are huge. So we are informing the business community about these opportunities, and they're very interested. Just recently, in the past 3 weeks, I did together with the Azerbaijani embassy, we did like a roadshow, part of a roadshow to different regions of Italy, to the industrial community, especially the Confindustria business association, to present these opportunities, and there was a very positive response. So we're going to organize a larger event in June in Milan, most likely, to present in more detail all the opportunities, especially for the free economic zone.
So the economic connecting points opportunities are very clear. How important is political stability when it comes to investors?
Well, it is, of course, of fundamental importance when foreign companies are considering a country. But Azerbaijan, fortunately, can offer stability, but not only political stability, but also, I would say, clarity of vision or strategic vision. So it makes it possible for foreign investors to fully evaluate not only the current situation in the country, but also the future, the near future to come. So it is extremely important. Not everybody knows about Azerbaijan and abroad. Now the awareness is growing, and so we are very pleased. We always tell companies to come and visit, because that is very important. Otherwise, it's not easy to fully understand the reality. I mean, how what the country looks like, because you can read it, but you will never understand. So we always recommend companies to come with us or by themselves to visit. So of course that is needed clearly in an investment process. That's the basic. But it is Azerbaijan. It is becoming. It's been much more visible on the international stage, and so everyone can start getting the right information about the country.
And finally, Manuela, I just want to ask you, I know you don't have a crystal ball in front of you, but just looking ahead 3 to 5 years from now, what do you expect the Azerbaijan-Italy economic relationship to look like?
Well, we hope to see an even stronger strategic partnership, fully diversified and fully mutual. So we would like to see more Italian direct investments in Azerbaijan for sure, because that is has been on my agenda. It is on my agenda. I would like to see that, to see an increase in that, but also a larger presence of Azerbaijan into the Italian economy, not only through the large players that I mentioned earlier, like Sofads or SOCAR, but also private groups and possibly small medium enterprises. That would be maybe medium long term, but we would like to see a larger Azerbaijani presence in Italian economy.
Manuela, it's been a joy to speak to you. Thank you so much for coming in to talk with us on this World Business Special.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, thank you very much to Manuela, and for all of you at home for joining us on A News. As economic corridors evolve then and supply chains realign, partnerships such as this one may just become increasingly strategic, not only for bilateral trade, but for wider regional connectivity between Europe and the South Caucasus. We'll continue to track how this relationship develops as diversification and green transition efforts gather pace. For now, that's World Business. I'm Guy Schoen.